Chosen one. If you're hearing this, understand something first. This message was not meant to reach everyone. It found you because something in you already passed a test that many never even realized they were taking. You've been through confusion that made no sense. Isolation that felt unfair. Battles you never signed up for. Moments where you wondered, why is life this hard for me when I'm trying to do the right thing? And yet, you're still here. Still breathing. Still searching for truth. Still choosing light when darkness would have been easier. That alone tells heaven everything it needed to know. This is not motivation. This is confirmation. Stay with me, because by the end of this message you'll understand what the test really was. Why so many people around you failed it. What power heaven has been reserving. And why your life is about to make sense in a way it never has before. Most people believe tests are obvious. They think a test comes with instructions, rules, and a clear finish line. But the test that chosen ones face is different. This test didn't come with a warning. It didn't announce itself. It disguised itself as life. The test was how you treated people when you were misunderstood. Whether you stayed honest when dishonesty would have rewarded you faster. Whether you stayed kind when cruelty would have protected you. Whether you stayed faithful when quitting would have made sense. You were tested when no one clapped for you. No one defended you. No one noticed your sacrifice. No one thanked you for carrying weight that wasn't yours. And the hardest part? You didn't even know it was being recorded. If you had known it was a test, it wouldn't have worked. Because heaven wasn't testing your performance. Heaven was testing your nature. Anyone can act righteous when they know they're being watched. Anyone can behave well when rewards are visible. But heaven needed to see who you are when no one is validating you. Who you are when prayers feel unanswered. Who you are when obedience costs you relationships, money, time, and comfort. That's why the test looked like abandonment. That's why it felt like delay. That's why it felt like silence. Not because heaven left you, but because heaven was observing you. There was a precise moment in the test where the paths split. Not loudly, not dramatically, but quietly, internally. It was the moment when pain stopped being temporary and started feeling personal. This is where many people failed. They didn't fail because they were weak. They failed because they misunderstood what pain was asking of them. You see, pain always asks a question. And the question was this: who will you become now? For many, pain rewrote their identity. They went from hopeful, cynical, open-hearted, guarded, principled, practical, faithful, suspicious. They told themselves, I can't be soft in a hard world. Good people always lose. I have to become colder to survive. But what they didn't realize was this. Pain was not sent to harden them. Pain was sent to deepen them. And depth requires patience most people don't have. The greatest temptation was not sin. It was justification. Justification to lie. This one time. Compromise. Just a little. Hurt back. Because they deserved it. Abandon values. Because no one else follows them. And once someone justifies darkness, even slightly, the test is over. Not because heaven is cruel, but because power without integrity is destruction. Many failed at the point of betrayal. They were betrayed by people they helped, people they trusted, people they defended, people they prayed for. And betrayal whispered a dangerous lie. If loyalty gets you hurt, stop being loyal. So they stopped being loyal to truth, conscience, compassion, God. They told themselves they were being realistic. But realism without righteousness becomes corruption. You were offered that same lie, and you refused it. Here's another place many failed. They mistook bitterness for strength. They became sharp-tongued, emotionally closed, spiritually defensive. They said, I'm not bitter, I'm just honest. But honesty without love becomes brutality. And heaven cannot entrust power to someone who uses truth as a weapon instead of a light. You felt bitterness knocking. but you didn't build a home for it. This was the most critical moment of the test. When no one corrected you, no one rewarded you, no one stopped you, heaven went silent. Not because it left, but because it was watching what you would choose without guidance. Most people fail here. They say, if God isn't stopping me, it must be okay. But silence is not approval. Sometimes silence is examination. You didn't use silence as permission. You used it as a mirror. Some people didn't just fail the test. They turned on God. They said, if God loved me, this wouldn't happen. Prayer doesn't work. Faith is for fools. They didn't realize that the test was not about comfort. It was about trust. Trust when nothing made sense. Trust when prayers felt unanswered. Trust when obedience hurt. They demanded explanation instead of alignment. And heaven cannot advance someone who needs constant reassurance to obey. Here is what almost no one understands. Heaven was not looking for perfection. It was looking for restraint. Restraint when angry. Restraint when tempted. Restraint when wounded. Restraint when justified. Power is not proven by how much you can do. Power is proven by what you refuse to do. This is where you passed. Let's be honest. You could have become cruel. You had every excuse. You had every reason. You had every justification. But something inside you said, if I become what hurt me, I lose something sacred. So you protected your heart, not by closing it, but by anchoring it. That anchor is what heaven saw. While people were watching your reactions, heaven was recording your responses. People saw your silence. Heaven saw your discipline. People saw your patience. Heaven saw your authority forming. People thought you were losing. Heaven knew you were qualifying. This chapter matters because the power coming to you now only activates in those who didn't let pain corrupt their spirit. Many wanted power to escape pain. You endured pain without abandoning your soul. That is why the reservation still has your name on it. Take a breath. That moment where others failed was the moment you were marked. And what heaven marks, nothing on earth can cancel. Let's talk about the loneliness. Not normal loneliness. The kind where you feel surrounded by people but deeply unseen. That isolation was not punishment. It was protection. Because if certain people had stayed in your life, they would have contaminated your discernment. They would have drained your power before it activated. They would have benefited from your gift without honoring its source. So heaven removed distractions, silenced noise, broke attachments. Not to hurt you, but to preserve what was forming inside you. Now listen carefully. The power reserved for you is not about dominance. It's not about ego. It's not about proving anyone wrong. This power is spiritual authority with restraint. It is the ability to shift atmospheres without forcing. The ability to speak truth that penetrates hearts. The ability to carry influence without corruption. The ability to walk in abundance without losing humility. This power is dangerous in the wrong hands. That's why heaven never releases it early. You thought you were behind. But heaven doesn't move on human timelines. Your delay was calibration. You were being strengthened without becoming arrogant. Educated through pain instead of pride. Grounded before elevation. If you had received this power earlier, it would have crushed you or corrupted you. Now, you can hold it without losing yourself. This massage is not meant to elevate ego. It's meant to bring clarity. Because many chosen ones are walking with power, yet still questioning themselves. So let's gently, honestly, and clearly identify the signs that confirm you passed. Not according to people, not according to applause, but according to heaven's measurements. One of the clearest signs is this. The things that once triggered you don't control you anymore. You still feel. You still notice. But you don't explode, defend, or explain yourself the way you once did. This isn't weakness. This is mastery. Passing the test didn't make you emotionless. It made you governed. You learned that not every comment deserves a response. Not every misunderstanding needs correction. Not every attack requires retaliation. That level of restraint only forms in someone who has already faced their shadow and didn't let it win. Before the test, you may have been too open. After the test, you are wise-hearted. You can now love people without enabling them, empathize without rescuing, forgive without re-entering unsafe spaces. This balance is rare. Most people swing to extremes, naive kindness, or hardened detachment. But you learn something sacred. Compassion does not require self-betrayal. That lesson alone qualifies you for greater spiritual authority. This one is subtle, but powerful. You no longer panic at solitude. You don't chase company just to avoid silence. You don't shrink your truth to keep people close. You don't stay where you're tolerated instead of honored. Not because you don't value connection, but because you've learned that alignment matters more than attachment. Passing the test taught you this truth. If I have to abandon myself to belong, it's not belonging. Only those who pass the test learn how to stand alone without becoming lonely. This is a big one. You've stopped trying to convince people that you're genuine, that your intentions are pure, that your heart is good. You let misunderstanding exist. Why? Because the test taught you something unshakable. Truth does not need defense, it needs time. You trust that what is real in you will eventually reveal itself. That level of inner security only forms after deep refinement. Your circumstances may not be perfect, but inside, something is steady. There is a calm you didn't have before. Not excitement. Not denial. Not escapism. Peace. The kind that says, even if I don't know how, I know I'm carried. This peace is not emotional. It's spiritual. And it only appears after trust has been tested and proven. Let's speak honestly. People either feel deeply drawn to you, or feel deeply uncomfortable around you. And you didn't do anything different. You're not louder. You're not aggressive. You're not trying to stand out. Your presence simply carries clarity now. Light doesn't attack darkness. It exposes it. Passing the test didn't make you intimidating. It made you unavoidable. This is one of the strongest confirmations. You don't fantasize about getting even anymore. You don't daydream about proving people wrong. You've released the need for apologies, explanations, closure from people who lack self-awareness. Instead, you crave peace, purpose, alignment. Revenge lost its appeal because you outgrew the version of yourself that needed it. Only someone who passed the test reaches this point. You sense it. A quiet pull. A responsibility. A feeling that your life is meant to serve something larger than survival. Not in a loud religious way. Not in an ego-driven way. But in a grounded, humbling way. You feel like, I'm here for more than just getting through life. This awareness is not given early. It's entrusted after character is formed. Here's a rare sign almost no one talks about. You don't crave power. You respect it. You understand. Power amplifies what already exists. Authority exposes character. Influence demands accountability. That's why you don't rush your calling. You'd rather be prepared than promoted too soon. This mindset alone tells heaven, this one can be trusted. Passing the test didn't make you arrogant. It made you aware of how fragile people are, how much pain hides behind behavior, how easy it is to lose oneself. You don't feel better than. You feel set apart, and you respect the weight of that distinction. That humility is one of the clearest signs of divine qualification. These signs are not rewards. They are credentials. They prove that when pressure was applied, you didn't become cruel. You didn't abandon truth. You didn't sell your soul for relief. That is why the next season will feel different. Because the power coming to you now rests only on those who pass the internal test. Take a moment. If these signs resonated deeply, it's not coincidence. It's confirmation. You're not becoming powerful. You already are, now you're ready to carry it. Here's something most people don't realize. Your activation didn't start after the test. It started during it. Every time you chose truth over comfort, power increased. Every time you chose restraint over reaction, authority deepened. Every time you forgave without an apology, heaven took notice. That's why lately, your presence feels heavier. Your words carry more weight. People react strongly to you, positively or negatively. You didn't change. Your frequency did. If you've noticed that people are behaving differently around you lately, you're not imagining it. This shift didn't happen because you became louder, colder, or more aggressive. It happened because you became clearer. And clarity is disruptive to anything built on confusion. You didn't make a declaration. You didn't explain your growth. You didn't warn anyone. Yet something about you shifted. Your energy no longer leaks. Your words carry intention. Your silence has meaning. People can feel that you are no longer available for manipulation, projection, or emotional chaos. And when access changes, behavior follows. Certain people suddenly want to talk to you more. They open up quickly. They feel safe without knowing why. That's because your presence now carries grounded peace. People who are tired of pretending. People who are weary of noise. People who are ready for truth. They recognize you instinctively. Your calm gives their nervous system permission to rest. You don't fix them. You don't rescue them. You don't even advise them unless invited. You simply are, and that's enough. Now let's talk about the other side. Some people act distant. Some become sarcastic. Some subtly compete with you. Some criticize you for things they once ignored. This isn't about you doing something wrong. It's about what your presence reflects. Clarity exposes unresolved guilt, hidden insecurity, unhealed wounds, false identities. When people haven't faced themselves, being around someone who has feels threatening. You remind them, without saying a word, of work they've been avoiding. Passing the test didn't just refine you. It turned you into a mirror. Not intentionally. Not aggressively. But spiritually. People see themselves more clearly when they're near you. And mirrors make people uncomfortable if they don't like what they see. Some people may downplay your growth, joke about your depth, label you as too much or changed. This is not criticism. It's self-defense. If they can minimize your transformation, they don't have to confront their stagnation. But here's the key. You are not responsible for making others comfortable with your evolution. Notice this. Conversations that once flowed now feel awkward. Relationships that once felt natural now feel forced. That's because old dynamics were built on an older version of you. And that version no longer exists. You don't overshare. You don't seek approval. You don't perform emotionally. You show up as you are, grounded, aware, intentional. Some people don't know how to relate to that. Projection increases when clarity appears. People may accuse you of thinking you're better, being distant, being judgmental, when in reality, you're simply no longer available for dysfunction. Projection is what happens when someone feels exposed but doesn't know how to articulate it. So they label the mirror. Here's what's really happening. When you pass a test, your frequency stabilizes. And anything unstable around you feels the contrast. Light doesn't chase. Light doesn't convince. Light doesn't apologize. It illuminates. And illumination reorganizes relationships. This season is teaching you not to chase explanations, not to shrink to maintain access, not to over-clarify your intentions. You're learning that alignment attracts, while misalignment repels, naturally. No force required. Do not confront people unnecessarily. Explain your growth to those committed to misunderstanding you. Dim your awareness to preserve comfort. Instead, stay grounded. Stay kind. Stay discerning. Let reactions reveal information. Here's the part few talk about. If people are acting strange around you, it often means your next season cannot include the old version of certain relationships. And that's not loss. That's preparation. You didn't change to make others uncomfortable. You changed because you were refined. And refinement always rearranges access. So don't take reactions personally. They're not responses to who you pretend to be. They're responses to who you've become. Take a breath. You're not being rejected. You're being repositioned. Now that the test is complete, life begins to move differently. You'll notice doors opening without force, protection showing up unexpectedly, people offering help without you asking, opportunities aligning instead of exhausting you. This is not luck. This is authorization. I acknowledge the test I survived. I honor the pain that refined me. I accept the power heaven trusted me with. I will not misuse it, hide it, or fear it. I walk forward aligned, protected, and prepared. What was reserved for me now activates in divine timing. Take a deep breath. You're not imagining the shift. You didn't miss your moment. You passed the test. Chosen one, before you go, I want to speak to the givers, the ones whose hearts feel called to pour back into the vessel that pours into them. If this message awakened you, if it strengthened you, if it spoke to your spirit in a way only heaven could orchestrate, then I invite you, only if your heart feels led, to sow a $1 seed into this channel. Not because God needs it, but because giving is a spiritual law. A small seed carries big obedience. And God multiplies what is given with pure intention. Your $1 keeps this ministry alive, keeps the messages flowing, and helps this word reach the next chosen one who needs it. If you feel that nudge in your spirit, if you feel that gentle pull, you can plant your $1 seed using the link in the description. And if you can't or don't feel led, you are still loved, still seen, and still covered. Blessings to every giver, and blessings to every listener. Your seed moves heaven in ways you may never see. But God sees it all.